For Lesson 2's homework, reflections off the coordinate plane, we need to make sure that we use our compass to first construct the perpendicular bisector line that will represent our line of reflection, and then second, we'll actually do the perpendicular from a point off the line to get our new shape like in problem number 2. So for the first one, if we want to construct the line of reflection, we first need to identify two matching points. So I'm going to choose that point right there and its matching point there. And we're going to make sure we can't do the perpendicular bisector of space. So what we want to do is make sure that we draw a line segment that's going to connect those 2 points. So now what we're going to do is set up our compass for our perpendicular bisector construction. So we'll make our full circles. I'm going to change my color here so it stands out. So my first circle, slide it across. I'm going to make my second circle. And then those intersection points right there are going to form our perpendicular bisector line. I'm just going to slide it over so that it lines up nicely. So there's our line of reflection. If we want to describe what we did here, well, the first thing we did was we connected pre-image point to its image. And then step 2, we did the perpendicular bisector of that segment. So anytime we are told to find our perpendicular bisector, our line of reflection, we're going to do our perpendicular bisector construction. For the second one now, they've given us the original shape, the pre-image, and they've given us the line of reflection, and now we want to do find our image. So for that, we're going to do perpendicular from a point off the line. And I'll color coordinate these to try to get them as clear as possible. So normally we would make full circles, but in order to save ourselves a little bit of space here, we'll make just the arcs. And the only requirement is it's got to hit the arc or hit that line of reflection 2 times. We'll keep our compass the same size throughout this whole process. That's important. That saves us a lot of time at the end by not having to remeasure anything. So I'm actually going to give these original points, I'm going to give them A, will be B, and C. So that this way we have the ability to label our points with letters that make sense. So there's A prime. I'll switch over here. Now I can make my compass much smaller for this next construction here. All right, that's a little too tight actually. I'm going to make that a little bit larger so that my intersection points are a little bit more clear. So first intersection point, we make our arc. Second intersection point, we make our arc. And that point right there is going to be B prime. And then last but not least, and hopefully this fits nicely. Yeah, it'll fit. We're going to make our arc for C. Bring my page down a little bit here. We'll make our arc below C. We'll go over to the other intersection point, make our other arc, and there's going to be the location of C prime. Now we didn't finish it yet because we haven't yet made a triangle. If we are reflecting a triangle, we have to make sure that those aren't very straight lines. So let's try this again here. That's better. 1, 2, 3. So for reflecting a shape, we have to make sure that our image is also going to be that same shape. It wants us to describe the steps again. So very simply, we did the perpendicular bisector construction, perpendicular from a point off the line construction to each vertex of the triangle. And just a little side note that I'm going to add in here. The question doesn't ask this, but remember, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. And I'm just going to write down our explanation that we're always going to use. Reflections are rigid motions which preserve size and shape. All right, so it's just a little thing that I want to make sure we all remember, and that's our homework for lesson number 2.